It is Saturday, August 1st, 2026, and this is The High Road, Logistics and Leadership. I'm Jules Sterling, and I keep these rigs on the right side of the contract.
This is Dan Miller.
I'm Elena Rossi.
And I'm Buck Reynolds. We have a great show for you today.
Yesterday, we covered geopolitical transit risks and drone strikes, Hirschbach's AI implementation, and Federal Reserve rate decision.
It's going to be a fascinating mix of risk and reward today.
Look, the bottom line is that yesterday's rate talk is already trickling down to how these fleets are planning their Q4 spend. It's like a 2-minute drill where every second counts.
The thing is, Dan, seconds don't matter if you're out of fuel or out of drivers. Let's get into it.
Well, let's start with what the industry's calling decision velocity. It sounds like a buzzword, right? But according to OMP's new 2026 framework, we are sort of moving past simple forecasting. It's no longer just about, did we guess the number right, but about how fast we can react when the guess is wrong.
Right. It's about moving the chains. Sensing a port strike or a factory outage is one thing.
Exactly. Sensing is only half the battle. OMP says leaders who raise decision velocity don't wait for a weekly planning cycle. They use agentic AI to resolve risks in near real time. It's sort of like, having a dispatcher that never sleeps and sees every dot on the map simultaneously.
I've had dispatchers like that, Jules. We called them pests.
Actually, Buck, the liability shift here is what interests me. If we're letting AI agents close the gap between sensing a disruption and acting on it, who signs off on the risk? Symphony AI and EY just expanded their alliance for this exact reason, to embed industrial AI into the order-to-cash value blueprint.
Right. And EY is saying they want manufacturers to be AI native from day one. It's not a pilot program anymore. It's the operating system. If a shipment is late, the AI has already rerouted 3 other trucks to cover the slack before a human even picks up the phone.
Look, the market nerd in me loves this. If you can shorten that OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act, you win the game. It's pure decision-centric planning. You aren't planning for the month. You're planning for the next event.
The deal is, though, you can't AI your way out of a flat tire in the middle of a blizzard. The US DOT just launched this Genesis mission under Sean Duffy to treat the national grid as a single solvable map. It sounds pretty, but the map doesn't account for black ice and road rage.
Actually, Buck, the Genesis mission is specifically designed to optimize the throughput of the whole system. But I suppose your point stands. The physical reality of the road is the ultimate bottleneck. If the algorithm says go, but the bridge is out, decision velocity becomes 0.
Sort of, but it's about the speed of the corrective action, right? If the bridge is out, a human might take 20 minutes to reroute a fleet. An agentic system does it in 2 seconds. That's the velocity part. It's about not letting a local disaster become a national supply chain collapse.
It's like having a quarterback who can read the blitz and audible before the ball is even snapped. That's the play EY is making.
Speaking of things not going according to plan, we have a major divergence in the autonomous space. The Canadian Automated Vehicle Initiative, CAVI, just officially canceled the Trans-Canada Automated Truck Project.
You mean the 6,000-kilometer Grand Tour? The one that was supposed to solve their driver shortage?
If I may, that's exactly it. They had 75 volunteers. Wabi and Aurora were in for the testing, but Transport Canada declined to endorse it. Without the federal stamp, the private funding just evaporated.
Wow. So, is this just a regulatory wall, or was the tech not ready for a cross-country haul like that, Elena?
My thing is, it's less about the tech and more about the risk appetite of the government. They were looking at a route from Halifax to Vancouver. That's a massive amount of unmapped liability. Instead, we're seeing the industry retreat to high-density corridors, like the Calgary to Edmonton run.
Look, the bottom line is that moonshots are expensive. If the ROI isn't there, the suits pull the plug. But look at FedEx. They just announced a major expansion of their autonomous trailer loading at the Hagerstown hub. That's physical AI in a controlled environment. That's a win.
Ah, see, that I can get behind. Loading a trailer in a hub is one thing. Putting a 80,000-pound rig on a public highway without a human to smell the brake pads? That's where I draw the line.
But, Buck, FedEx is saying their physical AI is actually more consistent than human loaders, right? And Atlas Energy is expanding their autonomous fleet to 100 vehicles. They aren't waiting for Canada. They're moving in the Permian Basin, where the roads are basically private anyway.
Exactly. It's about environment control. You don't need a 6,000-mile license if you own the 100 miles you're driving on. That's the strategic play.
And yet, we have a major multi-vehicle crash on Highway 52 in North Carolina involving 2 commercial trucks that just shut down the whole artery. We talk about autonomous safety, but the current human-driven risk is reaching a 5-year peak for insurance premiums. We're in this weird middle ground where the tech is stalled by red tape, but the humans are burning out.
I mean, if you want to talk about humans burning out, look at the freight theft reports coming out of the Carolinas. 13 semis recovered? That's not a one-off. That's a professional operation.
It's terrifying, really.
Hey, before we move on, I want to take a quick second for a note from our sponsor. Strategic logistics requires world-class engineering, and that's why this show is powered by the stack developed by Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. Support the architect behind the code. Visit our Patreon at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia for a free trial and access to our daily briefing PDF. It's the best way to keep your operations as lean as our scripts.
All right, speaking of lean, let's talk about GE Aerospace. They've been rolling out this flight deck operating model, and look, I know I'm the old school guy, but a 60% reduction in production lead times for F-110 engines? That is impressive.
Wait, 60%? I mean, how are they doing that? Is it just robots or...
The thing is, Jules, it's a mix of lean and AI. They're using AI to sharpen demand signals, which apparently cut their processing times by 90% for some airfoil parts. But the real flight deck magic is just moving things closer together on the shop floor, eliminating the walk time for the operators.
If I may, it's about reducing human entropy. You see, GE is becoming a better partner to their suppliers, too. GKN, one of their partners, used GE's 3D technology to improve inspection times by 90%. That's how you unlock a bottlenecked market.
It's the ultimate just-in-case strategy, Buck. When you cut lead times that much, you don't need to carry as much safety stock. You're increasing your capacity without building a new factory. That's an MVP move in this economy.
Well, I mean, they increased deliveries by 50% year over year. That's real volume hitting the supply chain. But I still wonder, if we automate the inspection, who catches the micro crack that the AI hasn't been trained on yet?
Actually, Buck, the 3D scanning they're using is often more precise than the human eye. But you're right to be cautious. The liability doesn't vanish just because a sensor did the check. My thing is always the paper trail.
Right? And Amerit Fleet Solutions is doing something similar in Canada. Well, not building engines, but aggregating maintenance. They're going for a unified maintenance solution across the border. It's all about removing friction points, whether it's a physical walk on a shop floor or a bureaucratic nightmare at the border.
Look, Amerit is following the aggregator playbook. Scale is the only way to survive when fuel fraud is evolving. Speaking of which, have you seen the new white-collar fuel fraud tactics? It's not just siphoning gas anymore.
It's digital skimming and phantom fleets. We recovered over $1 million in stolen trucks in the Carolinas yesterday, But the fuel theft we didn't catch is probably 10 times that. It's a cancer on the operating margin.
The deal is, you need people who know the smell of diesel and the sound of a turbo. You can't aggregate common sense.
All right, let's get to the main event. We have a not massive, but a very significant sustainability paradox happening right now. Amazon just released their sustainability report, and the numbers are, well, they're staggering.
Oh, I mean, I saw this. Their carbon footprint jumped 16%. I thought they were supposed to be net zero by 2040, right? Good luck with that.
Look, here's the kicker. Their Scope 2 emissions, that's purchased electricity, jumped 34% year over year. Why? Because of the AI boom. The data centers required for generative AI and logistics automation are eating every green gain they made in their delivery fleet.
I mean, I told you. You build a brain that needs as much power as a small country, and then you act surprised when the lights go dim? It's a joke. You've got all these electric delivery vans, but the computers routing them are burning coal to stay cool.
If I may, it's a power paradox. According to the GeekWire report, Amazon is now emitting 80.9 million metric tons of CO2. That's the same as the entire nation of New Zealand. And for the first time since 2019, their carbon intensity, the emissions per dollar earned, actually went up.
Right? It's like they're running a race where every time they take a step forward with an EV, the AI pulls them 2 steps back. But I did see that some companies are going off-grid to solve this, like Costco.
Exactly. Costco just partnered with Trinity Energy to take their Port St. Lucie distribution center entirely off the grid. Solar and battery microgrids. They aren't waiting for the utility company to catch up. They're becoming their own power plant.
That's the only way forward for risk management. You see, the grid is becoming a single point of failure. If Amazon's AI demands continue to surge, they're going to crowd out the residential supply. The regulatory backlash on that will be, well, it will be brutal.
The thing is, you can't run 1,000 trucks on a couple of solar panels. Costco's doing it for a DC, but the heavy-duty sector? We're still decades away. I mean, Google's emissions are up 18%. Microsoft is up 25%. The tech giants are the ones driving the climate collapse, while they're the ones selling us the climate solutions.
It's sort of hypocritical, isn't it? But Dan, isn't AI supposed to optimize the routes and save fuel? Doesn't that offset it?
Look, that was the theory. AI was supposed to be the green efficiency engine, but the intelligence layer is outpacing the green layer. The energy needed to calculate the best route is now sometimes higher than the energy saved by driving that route. It's like buying a $1,000 pair of running shoes to save 5 minutes on a walk to the mailbox.
Actually, that's a perfect analogy. And we have to consider the compute supply chain. All those H100 chips and data centers require cooling, water, and rare earth minerals. The sustainability report from Amazon admits that AI is unlocking solutions, but also creating complexity. That's code for we don't know how to stop the bleed.
The deal is simple. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You want the Celican driver to do the work? You got to pay the electric bill. And right now, the bill is coming due in carbon.
Well, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom, right? If companies like Costco prove the off-grid model works for distribution, we might see a decentralization of the whole power network. That could actually be a win for resiliency.
It's a defensive play, Jules. In football, if your star player is injured, you change the scheme. If the grid is the weak link, you bypass it. That's what the leaders are doing. But the small fleets, they're the ones who are going to get squeezed by the utility rates when the Amazons of the world eat up the supply.
We saw it with the Fed rates yesterday. The little guy always gets the short end of the stick. Whether it's interest rates or electricity rates, the squeeze is real.
Which brings us back to decision velocity. The companies that can pivot to off-grid solar now are the ones who will have the velocity to survive a grid crash later. It's all connected.
Sort of feels like we're in a sci-fi novel sometimes, you know? Between the recovery of $1 million in stolen trucks and Amazon accidentally polluting as much as New Zealand, well, it's never a boring Saturday in logistics.
Look, the bottom line is that efficiency isn't free. You got to look at the total cost of ownership, not just for a truck, but for the whole system.
That's all for today's High Road. We've covered everything from the speed of AI decisions to the brutal reality of the green energy gap. It's clear that while the tech is moving fast, the physical world and the power grid are still playing catch-up. Stay safe on the road and keep your calendars ironclad.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Later.
Don't forget to check those brake pads, folks.